Okay, go ahead and tell me who you are and who you're with.
I'm Charles Kenny and I work with the World Bank.
And what do you do for the World Bank?
I work on communications and their impact on development.
And you are here at NatB today, and what was your presentation that you gave today?
It was called Revolution in a Box, and it was on the impact of TV on development worldwide.
Now I'm going to go ahead and say that my guess is that television has had a horrible effect on people worldwide. Is that what your talk was about?
Quite the opposite. I think it's had a big impact on improving the quality of life in education, in health, in women's rights, and a range of areas.
That seems so like anti what people would think, because you've got television is bad and it's just rotting people's brains, but you're saying that maybe it's not all bad and that there are some good things to it. What are some of the good things that your studies have found?
Absolutely. Look, too much TV probably is bad and probably does rot your brain, but a lot of careful academic work has been done about the impact of TV rolling out across developing countries and what happens to decisions about sending girls to school, decisions about how many kids to have. And in countries as diverse as India and Brazil, what we're seeing is that where the TV extends its access, the number of kids women have drops and the number of girls who go to school rises, and a range of other positive impacts like that.
And how are you finding that it's TV and not other kinds of forces acting, global forces that are acting upon them?
Well, I mean, one thing is we see these things happen in countries where there's been no income growth. So it's not that just everybody's getting richer and so they're happier to send their girls to school or something like that. The second is the studies I'm talking about control for things like income and the education of parents and various other things we think might impact outcomes. And even when you control for these other factors, what comes across clear and strong is that watching TV can really have a positive impact. And I think a very interesting thing is it's not just watching worthy programming, it's watching soap operas. That can have a huge impact right there.
So watching Grey's Anatomy, I'll be able to do surgeries.
Please don't.
What kinds of programming are we talking about?
It is quite often soap operas that have strong female lead characters. And when you show these soaps to women in rural areas, especially of developing countries, where traditionally they haven't had a strong role in household decision making, this makes them think, well, if these people on TV can have that much influence, why not me? And we really see the balance of power in households change in favor of women. And as it's women who tend to be making the decisions about how to raise kids and the decisions about whether to send kids to school and on health outcomes, if you can make women more powerful within the household, you have a range of effect on the next generation.
Okay. And so you were talking a little bit about just how quickly TV and how pervasive TVs, just physical TVs are, even in rural poor areas, and that people who are making only $2 a day are still spending money on televisions.
Incredible. It's the first thing that people buy when they get access to electricity. After light bulbs, they buy a TV. And so there was a study in rural Indonesia of what happened when electricity rolled out. And within 7 years, the great majority of households had a TV, as compared to sort of 2-3% who had a refrigerator.
Wow. Now, I'm no economist nor a researcher, but I remember reading something like when there was an island in the Pacific or something that got television, incidences of things like body image and eating disorders rose. And so I guess it's just a balancing act then?
Look, there are downsides, and there are studies that do suggest in certain circumstances, especially watching too much TV, can have a bad influence, especially on kids. So I think we do need a balance, and we do need to be careful for negative cultural impacts as well as positive ones. I would just say the evidence we have to date suggests the balance of the impact of television is strongly positive.
Okay, last question. You're with the World Bank. What is the World Bank going to do with this information? What do you you've got this study, and now what for you?
Well, one of the things that comes out of the study is that competition is terribly important to the impact of TV. So if you have competing TV channels, the impact that TV can have on outcomes in governance, for example, is much more positive. So one of the things that the World Bank has been suggesting and will continue to suggest is a reasonably competitive, vibrant TV market is a powerful force for development.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Good to talk to you.